Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 99 of the Casual Weebs podcast. It is a bit late, but it's going to be a lot of fun because today we're talking about the one, the only Frieren. Listen, I gotta be genuinely honest. My personal opinion, just my opinion, the way Frieren animates fights is my all-time favorite. I know when it comes to shonen and stuff, it's all about the flashy, the colors, I don't know, the aura per se, you know what I mean? The explosions. The best example I can give is the Entertainment District in Demon Slayer. That fight,
Ooh, yeah.
it's just amazing. It just gets you excited, amped up, locked in, you know what I mean? It's sick. But it's very blurry, it's very flashy, it's very just I don't know, in your face, wow. Not saying that that's bad, but that's most anime fights are. Frieren's fights are so clean, so crisp. It's the movement. Oh my god, I've never been so excited by movement. The way I don't know, the camera, I don't know how you want to say it, but the way it follows the fight, you know what I mean, and how you see all of the movements. It goes back to season 1 where they first met Stark and he fought the dragon, and it's that back view of him hanging on it and him going with it, and you see his hair moving in the direction of the wind. It just looks so crisp and so detailed. I gotta say, Frieren fights are the most amazing animation I've ever witnessed. They're my favorite. I feel like Sakamoto Days should have done that with their fights, even though that's a really tough ask. That's what everyone says. The manga is so good, but it's so crisp, so clean. You can see every detail. Imagine if Sakamoto Days had that animation.
Dude, very good point. I also like the Entertainment District comparison because my first, upon reading your notes, I'm like, yes, definitely. I think a big aspect of Frieren is it's kind of bright and cheery and slice of lifey, and you get the village scenes and
Yeah.
they're looking for food or books for Frieren, and it's fun. But when we did that for what, a few episodes now,
Yeah.
and then it fucking turns to night. You get the demons. There's no super bright moon or crazy flashes. You do get Stark's, you know, what is it, gilded
Oh.
cleave or cleaving light. I
Yeah.
don't want to go. I don't want to
So
jump too far ahead,
so
but
insane.
they keep the very dark demon-esque aura about that night, and they
Yeah.
don't really stray from that in the fight. So it kind of hits harder than my first thought was One Piece, the basically all the Gear 5 fights, and I know this plays into the lore and Luffy's character and shit. You have all these crazy flashes and hockey bursts, and it's cool on the surface, but sometimes it does take away from the battle or the sound effects being I had shared that one video with you. They took away a lot of the music and it was just raw sound effects of Zoro and King.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, you're damn, this is even more intense.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about one less thing. I think Frieren did that perfectly. This fight, it's night all the time. It's dark, and then you get the angle of Stark, literally running up, parkouring, jumps on the roof, climbs on the windmill. I'm like, yo, this is sick. Gets to the top, and then just fucking grabs the
Yeah.
demon fearless, but the POV, I don't know how to explain it. Almost you were in a drone. You're a drone
Exactly. No,
operator in a movie.
It's the camera camera or whatever. It's so dynamic and so fucking good. I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's how do you describe that? It's so original, and I don't want to take away from shonen fights. The Entertainment District, that fight was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good. You know what I mean? But it's it's different. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's not better. It's not worse. It's different, and that's what I'm just saying. In my personal opinion, I just like it better. But what's cool about Frieren is that Frieren has both, because we have that crisp, clean, movement based animation fight style when it comes to Stark. But oh my god, when it comes to Frieren and Fern, do we have the typical badass explosion fucking anime fights? That was so fucking clean too. Fern's fight, Fern's a killer. Dude, she's psychotic. She's insane. So good. Such a great fight.
I know. We were yeah, we're about to have a Frieren Glaze fest. I'm just
Yeah.
so excited about
Dude,
it.
I can't
Last
wait.
point, last point on the Stark fight, when Stark first takes that blow, and I seen this meme, it was oh, men don't trust anybody, boys, one day after friendship, and it's Genau and Stark. Stark takes that cut, and then he's smiling. The way Genau comes down and he's this dark raven winged
So good.
you got a black sky and a black mage.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fancy anything. He's oh shit, he meant to do that. Turns into this low visibility buzzsaw, cuts the tail, and then just quickly makes those two huge cuts in him. And there's no crazy scene or nothing. It's swift, it's clean, and then you're oh shit, he really got fucked up right there.
Yeah.
And then you counter it with the, I forget what the attack name was. I think it was cleaving light or gilded cleave or something.
Okay, yeah.
Incredibly badass. You get the wind up, the holy spell, and then just carries through the sky and stuff. It was beautiful. But then you go to Fern, and probably one of the best things I've seen this season or in a while. The like, he has a crazy name. The boy demon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna keep it simple here. He's like, oh, the girl's gone. Like, where did she go? And you just see that like big moon, bright sky. Like, you just see the fucking moon in the water and the waves, and then it was like, boom, and dude's just cut in half. I was like, oh my god, just immaculate.
Dude, what a sniper! And like that's the funny thing. Like they had the fog, and I thought Frieren just leaves. Like, you know what? Sometimes it's better to watch from a nice vantage point. You know what I mean? Frieren's like, I don't give a fuck. I know that they have this all day, every day. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna watch and see how the peoples are doing, right? And like the fog's kind of throwing them off because Fern can't be stealthy. The one girl realizes that she's like, all right, you know what? Let's take care of this fog. The second she does, they're like not fighting off like their back foot anymore. It's not like they're being backed up or playing defense. Instantly, Fern just gets distance and just starts fucking sniping people. Like, it was cool when she did it to like the guy demon that she was against, but then when it happens to the girl demon, who, by the way, sick design. I love the katana and like the swords play, so fucking cool. But then
The mask over her eyes was really, really cool too.
but then all of a sudden she's like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden, like Fern just snipes her too. Just like the like fastest close to a fight ever. Like, wow, it wasn't even close. That's insane. But it also goes to show if you can take away Fern's stealth, she kind of isn't the greatest. It's amazing how like you take away stealth, like it's that difference like light and day between how dominant she is in a fight and how not. Like that's crazy how like she instantly was able to put that shit to bed.
And I think like they do a really good job of these like subtle like story points or whatever. And it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
well, before they left for this fight, it was like, Stark, if you stay back, they won't have a point. Like Frieren and Fern are almost non-existent hand to hand because they're mages.
Mm-hmm.
And like you really saw that the demons are always quick. They might not be the strongest hand to hand, but like they can easily kill most sorcerers. Like if you got in a bad situation,
Yeah.
this was one of them. I think Methode. I don't know how you say that with a without a proper
Oh yeah,
Japanese
like
accent.
Methode or I think something like that. Yeah.
You know, she starts like squaring up, they're dodging, and then she hits that graceful like Olympic kick and like almost hits her.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time you're like, oh, like one of these like female mages is like capable of that because it's mostly like the dudes are
Well, her
like,
family's a demon hunting family.
yeah, that was a sick bit of lore too. And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
that cold like weird expression, like your whole lineage just lived to kill demons. She
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, I mean, Frieren, kind of the same thing. That's what
Yeah.
elves do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was really sick, and like I thought it was cool because Frieren, like you said, was like, I'm hands off. You guys got this. And they were probably both like, yo, what the fuck? But like they almost easily figure it out. Like they get under pressure and it's like, all right, what do we got to do?
Yeah.
Stark, absolute tank. I think they call it a point for like the party. But like
Oh, it's a
you can see
frontliner.
like frontliner. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So good. Stark is him. I will never take Stark slander again.
But that's what I love about Stark's fight is that like Stark the entire time was assisting him. You know what I mean? Kind of like creating openings, tanking damage like as he does. But like you make a good point. Like when he has that like cleaving light or whatever it was like shit. It's like Stark can do some damage, bro. Don't think he can just
Oh.
tank some shit. Like that guy's a monster. Stark's insanely fucking strong. That was sick. I loved that.
I rewatched that episode quite a few times, and like
Mhm.
each time I'm like geeked, just a little kid about it. But it was cool too, like when Fern like finishes her fight,
Mhm.
and the way like Methode kind of like sees that first attack on the girl demon, and she was like, "Oh, this is a wrap. Let me create a ton of visibility with these spells." And
Mhm.
again, that super clean fluid. You know, she makes these like balls, and then it's just like a quick flick of the wrist, and then like the next thing you see is like the whole forest is gone, and
Yeah.
then boom, split in half. It was like that chemistry was disgusting.
Dude, absolutely insane. And I love too, like, no one kind of is going to give Stark his flowers for it, especially because he had such a dominant episode. But the brains on Stark. I mean, the one guy was going to stay back with the dead, like, on his own, and he would have died by himself. You know what I mean? But Stark had that feeling where it's like, I should be here with you. And he even said, like, aren't you going to be with your party? Like, they need a frontliner. They're mages. And he's like, well, they can always just run away. Like, you're the only one here. You're by yourself, and you can't run away, but you're protecting something. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just abandon the village. I know you're not going to, so I'm going to see that bad feeling that, like, something could happen. You know what I mean? Like, he's the only one out of all of them who thought of that, and kind of, like, indirectly, subconsciously realized the demon's plan, right? Think about, like, the people he's with. Those first-class mages, they're brilliant. You know what I mean? They're really, 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 really good. Frieren's been around thousands of years. You know what I mean? Even she wasn't like, hey, we should leave somebody with you because they can probably attack you. You know what I mean? Stark is the only one who kind of had like that feeling, that forethought that something bad could happen to the village. So honestly, props on Stark for not only being a fucking badass, not being just the world's greatest frontliner and a beast, but honestly made the smartest move of the episode.
brains and brawn. My boy Stark has it all. And we
He
know
does.
Fern has a crush, but don't let that man go. That's a trophy man right there.
That damn
But
straight.
another like two like another I guess 2 points of those like subtle story notes that they give you an episode or two before.
Hmm.
I believe Genau was like, yeah, like they kind of did this last time. Like I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, like they attacked when they were waiting for like people to pick up the dead bodies, and like we stayed back here. My partner got killed, and Stark's like, well, like they could do that again, so I'll just stay. And Frieren was like, all right, like you got it. And then like Stark, yeah, doesn't get credit for being a smart dude,
Hmm.
but like that was perfect, and he like literally was prepared for it the whole time. And like their little cooking date where they're like cooking the fish, and he's like, make sure you don't tell Fern. She'll get pissed. Which is
No,
so true.
dude, that had me crying because he's like, "Hey, bro, you want some fish? I'll late night snack. I get hungry around this time." He's like, I can't. Like, my woman's gonna yell at me. And he's like, "Oh, more for me." And he's like, "But don't tell Fern. Like, she'll get mad at me." He's like, "I got
Actually,
you."
he's right.
Like,
It's a life lesson. If you get food or you get fries, you gotta share them with the missus.
dude, I love how both these guys, just badass warriors, are just like, "Yo, don't tell our girls, bro. They're gonna fuck us up." And to be honest, both of them are like, they're scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't want to fuck with them either. Like, rightfully so.
That immediate bro code, they were like, yeah, now this will stay a secret between us. And I love how Genau was like, like you're a really good guy, Stark. You got a good heart. Like you're pretty selfless. Like you stayed back. Like I like you,
Mhm.
man. You're cool. And then that fucking tear jerking scene where the devil plays as the kid. Like obviously Genau falls for it, and he's just like, well, this is it. And then Stark pushes him out of the way and tanks the attack. He's like, well, I knew you were a good person, but you're definitely a fucking idiot too.
Yeah.
Which like it's just perfectly, I think, kind of like surmised all their chemistry. And like Fern and Methode and Genau and
Mhm.
Stark all made like really really good duos for having almost no rapport, because they were like not really in the same groups, I don't think, in the mage test. But it just goes to show you, I guess, when you're at that level, especially as a mage, like what's up.
It's also funny, like, when he fell for, like, the whole demon trap, he's like, well, this is what I get for trying to be a good fucking guy. I'm not doing that again. Like, he was trying to, like, show that he was a good person. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna save the kid, just like my partner did. But then he's like, I almost died because of it. What the fuck am I thinking? Being nice? That's fucking weak. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like, honestly, bro, like, that doesn't help your point. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of proves his point of, like, you kind of have to be kind of heartless, a little merciless. That wasn't a good moment for him to try to be good. You know what I mean? Kind of proved himself
Time
right.
and place, bro. A
Yeah,
time and place.
yeah.
Yo, but even the scene where like you think it's over, like they've done their job, they broke the swords,
Hmm.
and the demon just hits you with that like Sakuna smile, like impales them, and he's like, humans always think if you're empty-handed you can't fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, quite the opposite, bro. Fucking so good, dude. Just like both fights, I think were flawless and like really highlighted the best parts of both Stark and Fern.
Yeah, and again, like, shout out to Frieren because, like, you say what you want about her not, picking up on some things with, like, humans and shit, and, like, socially, but, like, she's got trust in her students. You know what I mean? She trusts that they can fucking handle business, and she proves that all the time. She just steps away. She's like, you know what, Fern, you got this. Stark back at the village, he's got this, and, like, they take care of business, and it's kind of because, like, Frieren puts them in those positions to actually, like, grow, and shine. It kind of goes back to JJK, where it's like, we're like, hey, like, the all powerful, we can't step in because the way that people grow is by being challenged, being tested. You know what I mean? If I, the all powerful, can just snap my fingers and just make the problem go away, you're not going to get stronger. Fern's doing that with Fern and Stark, where she's like, hey, listen, can I just wipe these two off the face of the earth? Easy. But then how is Fern going to get better? You know what I mean? Oh, we can just look after Stark and have him do whatever. But, like, how is he gonna be able to grow too? Like, he needs to make his own choices and, like, do what he thinks right. So, like, it's Friren's like one of the, I think, most goated anime teachers there are. Especially when you look at most anime teachers being just old perverts. I think Frieren really takes the cake. Like, she's really good. It's insane.
Beautiful old hag. We do love
Dude,
Frieren.
she made that remark at the end too. She's like, "We already have, like, an old member of the group." I'm like, "Stark, don't say anything, bro. It's bait. Don't say anything." He's like, "Yeah, we
Oh
do."
yeah, I guess you're right.
And then it cuts out. I'm like, "Oh, is he dead? Did Stark not make it? Is he gonna be the next episode?" There's no way Frieren doesn't get upset. Because remember, he's on strike too. She already said, "You call me an old hag one more time, I'm gonna fuck you up." So, I want them to talk about it next episode. They need to.
Here lies Stark. Just killed a demon lord, but called Frieren a hag for the third time. Like, rest in peace, brother. I thought that was like a really great ending to a very serious episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget where I read this, so I can't take credit for it. But shout out random Instagram user.
Oh, the
They
best.
were like Frieren, the goat. They were like Frieren traveled with the heroes party.
Mm-hmm.
She battled demons of this caliber like all the time. And this isn't so much like a victory tour or like a learning, journey for Frieren. She's doing this again with new people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. And Frieren knows that Hyder, albeit a drunk, kind of like fake priest, he loved to gamble. I'm sure he loved women. He's like, she, Fern was taught by Hyder. That means she's going to be an elite mage. Like, she
Yeah.
never doubts that. Frieren fully believes in that. And the same kind of goes for Stark, especially given his backstory with his parents being killed and literally having to run away. And like, I read that like this comment was like, yeah, Frieren understands that, and that's why she's able to so confidently be like, yeah, you go for it, you got this. And it was like, damn, that's actually like makes a lot of sense, but it's very understated, and like Frieren doesn't come out and say that, but that note were like, oh, she's so far away. Well, that's why Hyder was like, you have to be able to shoot and break this rock from however far away, and Frieren's like, oh yeah, that obviously makes sense. Like you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So it was like a really cool kind of subtle callback to season one too.
Well, I mean, that goes with Stark more than anything because his master per se, his sensei, like literally said that he struck him the one day because he got scared. Do you remember that? How he's like I felt his like true power and it fucking terrified me. Like it's like
Yeah.
Stark's like low key like on par. This is an exaggeration. I'm making this up, but like with like the Demon King or some shit. You know what I mean? Like because I forget the frontliner's name from the original party, but like he was goaded. Like
Eisen.
yeah,
I just had to
Heisen,
look it
he
up.
was really fucking strong. You know what I mean? And the fact that Stark like made him shit himself at one point, by accident, to the point where like he like attacked him, off of instinct of like survival instincts. That just kind of goes to show how much of a beast he is. And think about all the growth he's had since the start. You know what I mean? He's literally soloing dragons. Like this guy's insane, and demon
Dude,
lords. Like
like no big deal. He's kind of that. Stark is that fucking dude.
yeah,
And I just know like Eisen would be so proud of him and like, yeah, I totally forgot about that. But again, like you see so many episodes or like enough time goes by that like you forget we have these like character traits where they're like, oh yeah, like Fern is gonna be like an elite mage and like
oh yeah,
Stark has that incredible latent strength. Like, he just has to grow and mature and like learn, and like that's what they're actively doing. So like the way Frieren phrases this like, journey after the end, like it really is that. And it's like perfect. It's so much fun to watch them, but it's cool to see Frieren, be the old head, but like also guide them with, but teach them at the same time.
yeah. Dude, it's so good. And we talked about this since like what, like a couple weeks ago, like a month or two ago. We're like, dude, this happens every time Fearin starts. It's like that slice of life, just kind of chilling, have some little mini arcs. It's enjoyable. We're liking it. Everyone's complaining because there's no action. It's boring and slow. But just wait until the first big arc comes and the first big fight happens and it gets clipped and it's everywhere and everyone's like, hey yo, Frieren got it like that.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like this
yes.
fight, it's inevitable. You know what I mean? It was always gonna come. We all knew this was gonna happen. And for the Frieren enjoyers, it's just like, oh, it's just nice. It's just like, yeah, we saw it coming, and it still blew us the fuck away. It's just so good. I absolutely love this anime.
Dude, I do too. For me, this is probably my favorite episode of the season so far.
Oh my
I don't
god,
see,
it's not even
other than maybe
close.
like the Fire Force finale or like maybe the JJK season finale, like, those are two like highly anticipated episodes. I don't see anything really beating this for me. This was just peak fiction.
But what is even better is that Witch Hat Atelier or whatever it's called anime is coming out next season, and it's like Frieren's protege, pretty much. It's like
Oh,
is the
word.
fantasy manga who's just completely dominating the genre. Like apparently it is absolutely fucking goated. So if you guys do like Frieren, you're gonna absolutely love that anime. That's coming in a couple of weeks. I'm stoked for that. I'm hyped. I hope that the it following Frieren's not gonna kind of make us like kind of like, hey, we kind of just saw this. You know what I mean? I hope it is a little bit different and unique in its own way, where it's like, all right, this is like similar but refreshing. You know what I mean? But I'm so excited for it because if it's anything like Frieren, it's gonna be fucking top tier. Like, oh, Frieren's so good.
Dude, hell yeah. And I feel like you got to give it a chance. I remember like in the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks of watching Wistoria, we're like,
That's
people are
coming
saying
back next
it's like
season too.
black.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. But people are like, oh, it's just like Black Clover and like it's got elements of this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And it absolutely did. It had very like typical anime tropes, but it was still a sensational season.
Yeah.
And obviously it's getting season two, so people were into it. So like, you might have those familiarities, but that's almost a reason to check it out.
Yeah, 100%. It's dude, cannot wait. Next season's gonna be stacked. It's going to be awesome. But also, you wanted to talk about a little House Paradise. That was a pretty good episode too this week. I thoroughly loved that. That was a
Dude,
perfect ending.
yeah, so good. And like I love how that fight was like a lot different than like the Chobe fight and basically where, if we remember Gabby Morrow, maybe our MC, like we'll revisit that fight someday.
Yeah.
But like seeing how different like the fights went, I thought this was really cool. It was just a
Mhm.
war of attrition. This was one where they didn't have like the right maybe Tao setup to beat this guy, and like he was like, we said it might take 1,000 times. Well, I'm at like 230 and you're almost dead, so it's not going to take that much. And
Mhm.
the moment where I keep forgetting his name. I just looked it up twice before this, so sorry, brother.
Third time's the
Um,
charm.
like newer guy does nothing,
Mhm.
absolutely nothing until the very end. But dude, when he opens his eyes and like he gets that like Super Saiyan esque aura, it was like, yo, this dude is like thorough. He is fucking tough,
Yeah.
and I think it was kind of cool. Like maybe you forgot about it or like it wasn't that impactful in the moment. The blonde dude from the first season who gets killed, like he was obviously like a huge hero and like inspiration to him. For him to like dig deep for his homie was like really cool, and I think it brought like a really good end to this fight.
Well, what gets me excited about that too is in those flashbacks where he keeps remembering that blonde guy and shit like that, and kind of like remember like what he's fighting for, like kind of like really is motivating him. We get a lot about Walmart Sasuke. I feel like that's just kind of lining it up for his appearance, arrival next episode maybe. You know what I mean? Because he was in it a lot. Like he was a focal point in a lot of those like flashbacks. So like I cannot wait to see if we see him soon. Because again, I am the one who keeps saying that I think that this is gonna be the last season. Nowhere does it say that. They gotta end up doing a movie because like there's not a lot left. It seems like, but there's more than 2 or 3 episodes. No, like again, those that like
Yeah,
reinforcements haven't even arrived yet. We still have like 3 or 4 more fights yet. Like there's no shot. Or are they gonna do like this season in like a movie to finish it off, or like what's going on with that? But like we seem so close to the end, but yet so far away at the same time.
yeah, it's really tough to tell. And like, I know we're getting like a longer JJK episode for the finale. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I could see maybe if they did that, like, give you a 45 minutes or an hour, like
Yeah.
maybe you could get it in. I don't know the source material, so I don't know like how long these battles are, like the final battle, nothing like that. So I couldn't agree more. Like, feels like it's got to be over this season, but like we have so much left to dig through. Like,
Yeah.
almost feels like you could put maybe like a shorter movie. And anime movies are usually like 2 hours max. Like they're not you
Mm-hmm.
know the typical Demon Slayer length. Like that's not really what I would expect. But like a 2 hour movie, I feel like you could do that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm excited, especially for the rest of the season, because like this episode really hinted a lot of like the next two. You know what I mean? Because we also saw that little the dude who like reads like his little area where he's like monitoring all the fights. Gabby Maru's like thing was expiring. Like bro's about to die, so it seems like we really are gonna revisit Gabby Maru's fight next episode as well. So I feel like there's a lot of things kind of like closing in on. We're getting close to a lot of like key, important, massive moments, and I'm stoked. This is awesome.
Dude, it's literally been, I think, the heaviest hitter every week. Hell's
Mm-hmm.
Paradise is super consistent. So these next couple episodes are going to be bangers. And like you said, there's so much like lore and awesome action yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just sitting there and enjoying it. I'm waiting for it. Like I am not for once compelled to spoil something like other animes that I watch. Like I'm just happy to be here. I think Hell's Paradise will end on like a really good note, regardless of if it's the finish, um, of the show or the series or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it would be hard to like spoil. I mean, we're right there, we're right at the end. You know what I mean? It's like, do you want to really read like what 20 chapters?
I did for Fire Force, honestly. Just no self discipline. I'm like, what happens? I can't wait 6 months for another season.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that though. Fire Force this week was ass. It's just
Come on,
we're speed
did
running
not feel
fights.
good.
We're speed running fights. I mean, what was that? 3 fights in like a minute and a half. It's like, bro, like Benny Mara versus Benny Mara. I don't think I can forgive. Like that's the fight. You know what I mean? That is like cinema that we're gonna have, and it was a one shot. Like, bro.
Especially the way he like sets the whole world on fire, has the ring around. And I'm like, oh, this is like a Benny Maru's ultimate attack. Like,
Yeah.
okay, the Nichiren. I'm like, this is cool. Just one shots him, and then he turns to the town people and we're like, you don't really think I'm that strong, do you? You think I'm kind of like fucking weak. And everyone's like, sorry, Benny. And it was just like, oh, this is plot armor. And Benny would have won anyway because he's the strongest. But
Yeah.
in the same breath, I'm like, we got to do better than that. And then Fairy, who was like a very formidable, like you said earlier, kind of final boss level
Yeah. Because
enemy.
for the past 5 seasons, no one could lay a single hand on him, like a single blow on him. He gets buffed. He's like, oh, I can manipulate time now too. And then like Sho was just like, you're a pussy, and then just fucking one shots him. And it's like, dog, what are we talking about? He can manipulate gravity and time, and he just like, excuse me, what? Like maybe this is
Yeah.
what people were talking about or what we were thinking, where it's like the end's gonna be rushed. I have to imagine that
They're
these
moving
fights
quick.
were rushed. They had to have been. No shot that in the manga where people were just finishing people off like that. That was insane.
And like, I don't know, I guess it may be one of those situations where it's like, we give you more of like the end fight with Halmea and Shinra
Mm-hmm.
versus, a 3 episode grueling war with Fairy and Show.
Yeah.
And again, I just like literally spoiled the very end of Fire Force because again, no self discipline. But like, I don't know how long or short those fights were, if that's like very canon. But we had talked about, maybe the pacing was a little fucked up and like it felt a little rushed.
Yeah, we
So
definitely felt that this episode. Oh, a million percent.
yeah,
Like
to the point where like it was disappointing. Like we actually got more Tamaki in her underwear fighting than we did
Benny
time with
Morrow.
Fairy and Benny Morrow. So feels bad a little bit.
Here's the problem too: is that like on one hand, it's like okay, I get it. There's just too many fights, but you also didn't need to create that many fights. Like we didn't need Benny Morrow versus Benny Morrow. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to
No.
have a reincarnation of Benny Morrow. You could have just not had him because like you teased that and like everyone thought like that was gonna be like the fight. You know what I mean? Anytime Benny Morrow fights, oh my god, it is audio cinema. You know what I mean? It is spectacular. It is peak of peak. You know what I mean? Benny Morrow is
So
like the
good.
side MC. Like he's God to us. Okay, like. And the fact that you're like, okay, guys, we're gonna make it look like it's gonna be Benny Morrow versus Benny Morrow, and then we're gonna make it 15 seconds long. It's like, go fuck yourselves. Like, you guys just didn't have to do that. You didn't have to create that fight just to have it be a disappointment.
Yeah, very kind of disappointed, but hopefully like the finale's sick. I think it'll be really awesome. Obviously it's good enough to get me into Soul Eater, so very excited to get deeper into that. But I'm looking forward to the end. I know it's really really cool and like kind of like the whole setup and premise to it is really badass. So hopefully they deliver well and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel rushed, kind of like this episode was.
I mean, if you do need a good anime to watch, Soul Eater's that anime. And I'm not even saying that for like Fire Force fans. Like, I feel like if you don't like Fire Force, you would like Soul Eater. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't do
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that Fire Force does that pisses people off. Like Soul Eater is genuinely really good. It's funny as fuck, action packed, and it's really nice. The anime has somewhat little bit of problems if you've read the manga. I'm not gonna lie. As someone who's read the entire, has watched the entire anime, I've gone back and like seen the manga. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, this is a way different story, and like these are way different characters. Like Krona, you're gonna meet him at some point. Krona's the goat. Like he's top 5. You'll love him. He's the best. But like
Yeah.
he's like part good guy, part bad guy. In the manga, he's like a sadistic, evil, psychotic villain. And he's endgame. He's the endgame boss. So like they drastically changed that. You know what I mean? Where, like he eventually becomes
Okay.
good or like becomes like just neutral. Like it's completely different. But like the anime on its own is good. Like it's one of those things where it's like watch the anime first because you'll find things that you enjoy, and then you read the manga, and then you're like, oh, the anime's dog shit. The anime's only dog shit because of the manga is so good. But also, I saw a little thing. Arthur. You know how Arthur's like, he thinks he's like King Arthur, like the knight, and he's like delusional as shit. So apparently, in his sword that he has, he keeps putting his delusions into it, right? And he keeps like making up all this bullshit. That's how Excalibur is born in Soul Eater. Excalibur is this pretentious douchebag that's a weapon, and he talks about how
Yo.
amazing he is and how great he is, and he exaggerates every story, and people are like, that is why, because it's Arthur's delusions that molded and formed and gave life to Excalibur, who's now the living weapon of Arthur, which is fucking dope.
I love that. And like being able to so well, write these two series like
Mm-hmm.
pretty far apart, I think is like a testament to the author's like ability and
Oh yeah,
skill and like, it's not easy to make like a prequel or a sequel and follow it up in any medium. So that's
yeah.
really sick. But yeah, there's
Wait till
so
you
many
meet,
like,
wait till you meet Excalibur, you'll see.
dude, I love that. And Arthur's just such a good character in the first place. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm super excited for it. So hopefully Fire Force delivers, but either way, I think it'll be sick and it's got me itching for some Soul Eater.
Dude, Soul Eater is peak. But anyways, yo guys, we hope you guys had a phenomenal week. This week was pretty amazing, genuinely. I mean, Hell's Paradise was awesome. It was a great bridge going into this week. This week's action pop off. Frieren is just top of the top. Frieren is just made everybody regret dropping it. Whoever did, it's just so unbelievably good. And again, we're coming on to next season soon, and we just have a lot of really good animes dropping then as well. I mean, Wistoria. Time I got reincarnated as slime, ReZero. We can go on and on. It's just so amazing. So we hope you guys are excited. We hope you guys had a great week, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Peace.